Happy Halloween, y'all. Hope everyone out there is having a good Thursday. It was ridiculous, the weather outside today. It was 78 degrees here in Boston. Lincoln enjoyed his time at the dog park. Anyway, hopefully y'all are having a good day. I'm exhausted. I'm just being honest. Yesterday took a lot out of me. After yesterday's marathon, I wasn't planning on streaming anything today. In fact, after we finished last night, I told the guys I clean up later. And we just kind of hung out and shot the breeze for a little bit. And I asked them whether or not they thought their opinions on whether or not I should unbox today's game and do a video on it. And I was like, I don't know. And then I was like, you know what? if I'm questioning whether or not I should, maybe that's answer in and of itself. And they were like, yeah, that's fair. Okay, cool. Then I woke up today and I was like, wait a minute, it's a board game. Like, they're not celebrating this. And if there was ever a day that we were going to feature something like this, I mean, it's the day where, you know, the devils come out and, you know, it's Halloween. So the other side of the hill, that's what we're doing today, or at least an unboxing. You can tell my energy is not as high as it normally is. I apologize. So yeah. All right. Seems, I mean, I'll be honest, a lot more people were interested in this than I thought. So we're playing it tomorrow night. And before I got into learning it, I was like, wait, should I go ahead and do an unboxing? I was like, you know, yeah, let's do it. So we're doing it. Anyway. So, other side of the hill. For those that don't know, players take on the roles as the German High Command in World War II. And there are there's 5 factions, 4 of which are in a 4-player game. And you don't know which the 5th faction is. I watched kind of a little video by Stuka Joe earlier today. But it kind of gives me a multiplayer kind of, like, just a vibe. Just from a surface level vibe. Looking at the board and everything, pictures I've seen and whatever. And we did not really an unboxing, but like showing it a little bit on a patron stream a couple weeks ago. And kind of vibing like Mr. President. Kinda. It's like that super zoomed out view. But anyway, so this is designed by Carlos Marquez. Is that? Yeah. Carlos Marquez and published by NAC Wargames. Randall over at Eagle was kind enough to track down a copy for me at Essen. So it was this and Stressbotics were the 2 that I asked for. So he came through. So thank you, Randall. All right. So this is a typical, I don't know, GMT size box, but like a double thickness, maybe, you know, whatever. Y'all get the idea. Hey, look, it's who you represent there. So yeah, we're playing this tomorrow off camera. Including no patron stuff. And the reason is I want to make sure this is handled the way I want it handled, because everyone is the bad guys in this game, bad guys of history. So yeah, but everything, and I do mean everything I've read about this says it's handled the way it's handled maturely, and that's what I want. So there we go. Anyway, but yeah, so what do we got here? It's dinged up, but other side of the hill, first printing, number 42 of 100. So I guess if I got this graded as a collectible card, it probably wouldn't grade out real well, but that's all right. Cool. All right, good. All right, a bunch of deck cards. It's got different scenarios. I assume none of y'all have played this. I know, like some I had no idea this was a Kickstarter when I first heard about it, because I first heard about it at the Essen, when we were going through the Essen list and everything. So I had no idea it was Kickstarter, but I know a number of y'all either picked it up at Essen or supported the Kickstarter, Game Found, whatever, crowdfunding. You get what I mean. So assuming that none of y'all have played this, what is it about this game are you either most interested in or most curious about? And no, I did not get an Iron Cross because I wasn't there. So, and even if I was there, I didn't need it. It's just trinket. So, Arnaud says it's been available on TTS for a while. Oh, all right. Oh, here we go. So the team behind Other Side of the Hill is Spanish, which I've noticed Spain is getting or has, I should say, let me rephrase that, a pretty strong war game scene. Maybe y'all know that, but All right, this is cool. So here, yeah, I want to read this if y'all don't mind. I mean, look, I got nowhere to be today. I got nothing going on. Don't have to worry about kids trick or treating or anything like that tonight. So, all right, NAC War Games original. It has been more than 3 years of constant work since we first had the opportunity to appreciate the huge potential of this title. What you have in your hands is an authentically thematic and strategic experience that will fully immerse you in the Second World War, possibly the most frequently recreated conflict in the history of simulation games, i.e., war games. However, the other side of the hill affords a unique experience since players will play the role as the German High Command and will have to deal with unsurmountable military challenges and the stress of serving the most criminal regime in human history. Perhaps others would not have dared to publish a game like this because let's try that again. Most others would not have dared. I would have phrased that a little differently, but okay, to publish a game like this, one, because of its subject matter, but after trying it out and seeing the rigorous way the author had approached such a controversial subject, we could not ignore it. All you will find here is a recreation of a military conflict, experience from the losing side, and fortunately so. What challenges did the German High Command have to face? How were they able to turn the world upside down in a few months? What historical events triggered the conflict? Now you have a chance to discover it from the other side of the hill. Now, this is, or at least it gets the name from a book. I believe the book was published back in 48. So the author, and I'm trying to do this from memory, so I might have this wrong, but I think it's right. The author was able to really delve into the minds of some of the German High Command generals. So yeah, yeah, yeah. It's semi co-op, but very much one winner type thing. And Carlos writes here that thank you very much for purchasing The Other Side of the Hill. The game is a result of many years of passionate work. It's been a long road, but it will all been worth it if you give a few hours of pleasure and some food for thought, either alone or with your friends, because it is soloable. I'm very grateful for the trust NAC War Games, or is it NAC War Games? I'm not sure. Has put in me by investing in a game with a potentially controversial topic, and I sincerely hope to be worthy of the trust you have placed in this project. The battlefields of Europe are spread out before you. It's time for you to put on your high-peaked cap, adjust your monocle, and prove that you are worthy of receiving the Marshal's baton of the German army. I wish you best of luck. You're going to need it. Yeah. And not that I don't care about I'll read it. Never mind. It has long been a road to culminate the development of this grandiose game. For me, Rodolfo Serra, it's been an honor to be part of the NAC War Games team. Building a graphic design that lives up to the designer's creative vision has been a real challenge, and seeing the title come to life with the seal of NAC War Games fills me with pride. One of our main design goals was to compress all the necessary information while creating a graphic style that would really make you feel, quote unquote, in command. One that allowed us to recreate events accurately and would hopefully make players feel like generals in their command posts or on the battlefield. As you will see and hopefully appreciate, every single detail is aimed at facilitating gameplay and maximizing the thematic experience. I trust you will enjoy every minute you spend with Other Side of the Hill. I hope I don't enjoy every minute. I hope it's uncomfortable and it's difficult. But then again, I guess that would be part of the enjoyment, right? So we have the rule book for competitive play. The font's bigger than I anticipated, so okay, that's cool. This is what I'm doing on Halloween, is digging into this bad boy. Okay. Hi guys. All right, that's the board, by the way. We'll get into that in a minute after I get everything out of the box. Setup table for the map, setup table for the markers, for the various years and scenarios, I would assume. All right, cool. We have the playbook. Has anyone gone through the rules of this yet? We have solitaire and co-op. Co-op is an interesting idea in this game. I wonder how it works, just from a standpoint of, because you have 5 different factions, I guess, in this game. I'm really curious how the co-op would work because they're so different. Yeah. I mean, it's the font used in this is a little jarring to me. I'm probably it gives a weird feel. It's probably just me. Could be a gas bubble. All right, we have player aids. There are 4 of them. I'm going to assume these are identical because you don't know what faction you're going to get. Okay. Yeah, this really doesn't look too bad. And all of those, no, I lied. Look, got player boards. These are symmetric other than the player colors. So we have orange, purple, brown, not really teal, not really blue. What color would you call that? I don't know. Have I seen the publisher logo for this? I mean, not being a smartass, but that? Anyway, player boards. Oh, interesting. They are different, the fronts and back. Oh, sorry, other way. Here we go. So I am unsure as to the difference. All right, but all right. And there's only 3 punch boards. I mean, again, even this is reminiscent, at least to me, of Mr. President, in a lot of ways. Low counter density. So let's look at the. So we have all of the represented German High Command. So let's see. Now, I am not well versed in the German High Command and the generals. Okay, hey, there's Guderian. All right, there's Rommel. And there's a lot of Vons. I don't know a lot of their names. I'm slowly going through them. A moment. Yes, if and when we do stream it, you guys will have a fun time making fun of our German. All right. Being questioned, I know, is not great in this game. I'm just kind of taking it in. This is the first time I'm really looking at this, so. Disputed. So Soviet or Western influence markers, maybe? Okay. Head of production, head of personnel, the OKW, the head of operations, and then 2 others. Huh, that's interesting. Yeah, so it's not really a war game in a sense that it's more of a political infighting, political intrigue game. Let's go and bring that back out. Oh, wait. Let's try that again. That was the wrong one. Yeah, no, that, yeah. Yeah, there we go. That's what we're looking for. All right, let me catch up with chat. Let me see. Oh, on the lower right-hand side, the boards say competitive or... Okay, so over here, it's 2 to 4 players on that. And on this side, solitaire and co-op. There we go. Who was that? Flamzer over on Twitch. Well done. Fair enough. Tobel's correcting something I said earlier. I said if we're going to do it, on Halloween, seems like a good day. It says monsters are fictional and have been declawed in popular culture. Nazis should never be. Touche. I agree with that. And should never be presented as harmless or common. That is fair. That is fair. Oh, okay. That's interesting about, the MQO, I guess, logo. This includes a whole bunch of Kickstarter extras, it says, as well, which I have no clue what those would be. My guess is it has to do with something of those. But anyway, let's go and look at the board. Nothing on the back. Oh, no, not true. That's the, well, I guess. There you go, some postcards. That is old Hitler. And let's see. Oh, God. Air Force. Okay, shouldn't have done this when I'm tired, because apparently I can't remember anybody's name. I give up. Y'all will tell me. Yeah, the OKW is an acronym, the Oberkommandeur der Wehrmacht. Is that what it is? I know it's basically you're in charge of all of the military aspect of it. And so the different roles that you can have, like the head of projects, so on and so forth. Again, I watched a little bit of Stuka Joe's, one of his videos up on it today. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot about this that is going to bother me. Give me a minute. Don't freak out if I break it. There's a lot about this that can kind of give me the Mr. President vibes from a aesthetic, like the way, just kind of the initial feel looking at the board here. Gehring, Jesus, that was it. Thank you. Yeah. Let's see. Let me scroll up a little. Give me a second, y'all. All right, so just looking. Okay, Albert says, I played the game during the testing with the designer. I think it's a very interesting approximation of World War II. Big Sound says, this is not fair. How did you get the game? A very good friend of mine picked it up for me at Essen. Espen says, now I'm waiting for a heavy core board teach video. Well, we have to learn it. That's why we're playing it tomorrow night. Feels to me like a Churchill with a more deep military phase, Albert says. Or the whole game is the military phase. Fair. Let's see. Yeah, it's sold out, Alexander, from everything I've heard, but there may be another print run. I don't know. The Kickstarter is long gone, obviously, since this is here. Yuka or Juka says, no, it's not available from the Kickstarter anymore. Everything's sold out. There might be a reprint early next year. We are indeed making fun of your German. No need to apologize. Feel free. That's fine, Elk. All right, cool. This looks like a euro. Yeah, like it's a euro. It's a euro. It's a woro. It really is, right? Yeah. So, all right. Anyway, this looks cool. It's interesting to me that this is obviously. I say obviously, but it took me a little bit to realize it. The map of Europe through here, but also all the way down into the Middle East, I guess this would be, right? Because I notice it has Jerusalem, Damascus, Tehran, Baghdad, Mosul. So different countries down here represented. So the Med and a little bit further east of the Med, obviously Russia, Germany up through here, and Poland, and then depending on what scenario you play and when you start, how much is going, like what's in play. Anyway, strategic events, the generals, the production directives, the political objectives, and the Black Orchestra deck. All right, so I think, yeah, this is fascinating to me. Like, this is not a game that I think 5 years ago could come out, but I think the board games as a medium, I think, have matured and come a long way to where a game handled correctly like this can exist, and I'm very intrigued by it for sure. Really looking forward to this. Alexander, there's a really easy solution though. If you want to play this, just come to Boston. We'll bust it out. Come to or on a serious note, and come to HeavyCon. All right, let's go ahead and zoom this back in. Now let's look at some of these decks of cards, shall we? And for those that aren't aware, the reason I'm a little bit more subdued today is the 16 hours yesterday of stress botics. Really enjoyed that. Oh, the quality of the cards is nice. They're linen finished. That's an unexpected happiness right there. I'm just gonna toss this over here. So what's on y'all's mind today? I mean, obviously we're unpacking this, unboxing this, but what else? What other game stuff is in y'all's head? For me, obviously, Stress Botics is, since yesterday's massive undertaking. Still looking forward to getting the Barracks Emperors solo played. Just gonna undo all these and then we'll go through them. I am not going to PAX Unplugged this year. I may, it's unlikely at this point, but I may be going out to San Diego HISCON. I am definitely going to Circle DC again this year. Well, this year, I mean, what is that? March, April? Steven, you're killing me. When do we get the Stress Botics expansion gameplay? After we get a couple more plays of the base game under our belt. There we go. Elk says, I'm still going through the Stress Botics stream. 2 hours to go. Who was it? It was Kyle. Texted me earlier because tomorrow he and I are tag teaming Final Girl. I've never played it. He's kind of running that one tomorrow for us. That's gonna be at noon tomorrow, by the way. And he was like, "Yeah, I'm 5 hours in. I'm enjoying it." So, all right, well, yeah, let's go and bring this in a little bit. Hold on. That's wrong area. I guessed. There. Wah! That was crazy. That's a little bit better. We'll do that. That's at a good angle. There we go. Cool. All right. So you draw these cards, And obviously, you know what? I'm gonna stop with how the game actually plays because I haven't seen enough of the extended gameplay to really be able to talk about it intelligently. So we're just gonna look at the pretty pictures, and y'all are for those that are familiar with it, feel free to drop knowledge here. Oh, von Stauffenberg. That's Operation Valkyrie, right? I think, right? Check a briefcase with 2 bombs into the Wolf's Lair on July 20th, 1944. How Hitler avoided that, I have no idea. Well, I do know, but just lucky. God. Anyways. That was unfortunate. So, this is it. Oh, these are all, I just realized what these are. These are all assassination attempts, right? Sort of. Oh, this is fascinating. Oh, yeah, this is going to be good. Um, wow. Yeah, this is the history on this is going to be really really interesting. Oh, this actually all of this, I believe. Okay, not everyone, but a lot of these are in regards to Operation Valkyrie, or at least some of them, because like uh the open shutters here, um, the second bomb. So okay, this is interesting. All right. Oh, Elk says my wife is watching as well, and she's a teacher for German history. Huh? Is this a card game for ants? Uh, more trick taking sessions. I promise they will be happening. Yep. Uh, no, these are the mini cards. This is the only deck of mini cards. But anyway, this is fascinating. That's awesome. All right, that'll be cool to go through. And again, I mean, I've done some reading on this stuff as well as obviously if familiar with it, I've watched the movies, so on and so forth. But all right, so strategic events. Now, I'll be honest, I don't want to I'm gonna show like 2 of these just because I want to be surprised by some of this. I like that it has an enigma machine next to it. I think that's what that is. I think so. By the way, in DC at the CIA headquarters, there's a museum that has an actual enigma machine. I very much want to see that in person. I'm fascinated by that. Anyway, so they're separated by years in the top right hand corner. Okay. But synthetic fuel plants bombed. Okay. Resource value drops and then something else happens. It shows what scenario this event is used for or used in, and then we'll grab that one. Barents Sea Battle. Flip the strategic warfare replacements marker to the done it side. Now, everything, this all looks fine. This all looks great. Fine, great. Font could have been a little bigger. Not gonna lie, like without my glasses, nope. With my glasses, I can read it at a normal distance. But like if this were, yeah, okay, at arm's length, I can still read it. But I'm just saying, could have been a little bit larger font there. So anyway, that is the strategic events deck. All right. Military directives. Again, we'll just show a couple of these. Barbarossa 2. How many combat pawns? And I believe it's the OK. Whoever is the OKW gets to determine these things. Something along the lines of that. But yeah, this really looks fascinating to me. It really, really does. Everything about this game is intriguing. All right. Cool. All right, let's see. Yeah, there is a fair bit of information on this, but thankfully, looking at this, um, and they're different area numbers. Again, I'm not really, oh, area 17, area 18. Okay, that's not what I thought it was going to be. Never mind. My guess, you see the area numbers down here for different, I'm thinking that's what that coincides with. So, okay. So area 1, this looks like it's up north. That's in Poland, 1939, invasion of Poland. Yep, looks like it. Okay, cool. All right. For this one, there isn't a date for a playthrough yet. The reason for that is the same reason we're playing it off camera. That's my opportunity to vet the game and see if it's something I want to show on my channel. More product. Okay, there. So that's why. So to be determined. I anticipate that we are going to, but I'm not going to lock myself into a corner with that, but we'll see. The Wehrmacht purged. Okay. Fanaticism. I mean, it's crystal clear to y'all, but let me go ahead and bring this out just a hair to give you all some context. Like, I mean, that's a reasonable distance. We have all this area. Just saying. You know what I mean? Just saying it's a little tight. That's all. I did it again. Sorry. All right. That'll work. So, there we go. Yeah, that is some really small font. And it's a war game. War gamers are old men. Not all. I'm making broad. My point is, could have made it a little larger here. Whew. All right. So, all right. That's some political directives. Next, moving on to the combat cards. Oh. Sorry. There we go. I mean, that's a lot of information on these, so I get the smaller font on stuff like this, okay? Yeah. Is it possible Tricarian will hit the stream again? Yes, Lodi. That's one of Derek's favorite games. I'm keen on it as well. But soon, I'm not gonna say that that's going to be the case, but eventually, I think that's a reasonable thing to expect. So combat events. And yeah, Flamzer says, I like how distinct the backs of the cards are. I mean, if we kind of... Right? I mean, both in color as well as the artwork. So that's cool. I agree with that. All right. We were... Combat events. All right. So let's see. I find myself looking at the screen, reading these more than in person. Again, these are done by year. Okay. So, just, hey, if you draw this card, do these things. Okay. This seems pretty straightforward for the event cards. And those are later, right? No, other way. Like that. Okay. All right. The production directives. Political directives. I think we've already looked at those, some of those, but... I mean, I know what they were going for with the font used here as well. The fact that it kind of looks like a typewriter. like up through here and everything. But good God, man. Activation of OB West and activation of OB Sud have been played. So that's the prerequisite. Yeah, seriously, that font, like that's work to read that. Okay. Diplomacy card. All right. I mean, yeah, not super thrilled. Again, from a legibility standpoint, right? Bigger. What do y'all think? I'm curious. Or is it like you're like, wow, it looks giant on my TV. Where the problem at? Which is entirely possible. By the way, here are the 5 factions. So we've gotten to these. So let's set this stuff aside for a moment. All right. So when you draw these, the hidden agendas, in a 4-player game, here's something I do know. That in a 4-player game, not all of these will be in play, so you can't definitively say, oh, I know these are all in play, and so-and-so is playing like they're like this, so that's probably it. There's going to definitely be some aspect of bluffing in here, and you can because only using 4 of these, right? So we'll start with the OKW. Okay, let's go tighten that up a little bit. There we go. All right, so the OKW, you score, and this is at the end of the game, depending on, I'm not sure what the differentiation is between these, but I do know score double the fanaticism value. So keeping fanaticism up is good for if you're playing the OKW. Germany is not collapsed. Score points for it. And then I don't know with per coal or resource area. Score points potentially, and then those. Not sure what those are. All right, so that's the OKW. So obviously, they don't want Germany to collapse, and they want fanaticism high. That's one faction that you could be playing. And I believe these are random draws. I believe. Because otherwise, who's going to want to play a couple of these that are in my hand still? So the dissidents. This is the folks that are anti Hitler, effectively, right? I mean, this is the faction everybody wants to be on the. You're still on the wrong side of history, but you're on the less horrible, but still horrible. You know what? I don't want to try and soften that. But anyway, you're a dissident. So for what that's worth here. So what do we got? We got, you know what? My fingers are too big for this. Let's break out small fingers. There we go. So Germany has collapsed, score 20 points. Okay. I know that icon. That is the, oh, damn it. Where'd they go? Where are those shits? There we go. Dissident. I guess, killed dissident, or just the dissident score up to 10. You want the opposite of the OKW when it comes to the fanaticism. You want that high because might be doubled. Here, you want it lower, obviously. And per something sector, under Soviet or Western control, score points. So you are basically, yeah, down with the Third Reich. Okay. All right. So that is that one. Next, we will go with, all right, the Old Guard. So I don't know who, for anybody out there, like, I know one of these is going to be the professionals as well. And that would be like Guderian, right? Just, look, we're generals. We do war stuff. Like we lead. We're, they're just the professionals. I'm curious, who would be a good example of who falls into each faction? Oh, the dissident. Oh, it is. It's a little Adolf Hitler with an X or with a line through it. That is. Here, I'll show you. There you go. And I can also show you maybe a bigger version. That's going to look huge now, but where I went too far. There we go, those. All right. So yeah, that's it. All right, let's bring that out a little bit. All of a sudden, the font looks huge. All right, the old guard. So per Iron Cross. I cannot read what is below the Iron Cross on that one. Can y'all? I still can't. Influence. Oh. Okay, so if the military influence is the highest, that's what that says. Okay. All right. So let's see. Steven says the old guard are the people that were there when the Nazi Party was formed in the early 30s. But do we have like any notable examples of this? Anyway, per East Front sector, not in Soviet control. Because again, right? Jakob says there's a great line in Downfall. One of the generals turns up at Hitler's bunker and says, I am General so-and-so and I demand to know why I am to be executed. That's professionalism. Yeah, that is a totally fair take. So, speaking of which, the professionals. Again, I don't know the icons yet. So, per either white cube or cube on the map, that could be. Oh, it is a white cube because per. Okay, so these are armies. They're maybe. I know the gray ones, I believe, are armies. So yeah, these guys are just like strictly tactical, strategic, operational military leaders. And then, last but not least, these are the guys that nobody wants to play. The sympathizers. All right, so per sympathizer as specific heads of various things. If sympathizer influence is highest, oh, okay, so that would be the opposite, or if not the opposite, that's so there of the old guard. Okay, then if sympathizer influence is bigger than military and dissidents, okay, that makes sense. All right. Who is it? Insomnious Developer says, I think that crosses the Wehrmacht symbol. Okay. All right. So those right there. So here's a good gauge for those that are watching legitimately. Okay. So let's kind of put these how I would kind of. So we have those guys. Let me bring this out. Yeah, I think we can have maybe not a discussion, but I think this is a fair guide on whether or not you yourself are going to be comfortable playing this. I would put that there, and then I mean that's really not perfect here, but I mean, I feel like this is by itself, right? Then I would think The OK, yeah, I guess the OKW kind of does roll on that side too. Really kind of does. Obviously, the dissonance, if you're going to have to play a faction in this and you're like, okay, I feel less terrible about having to play the dissonance. And then I can make a case that really it's just those two. So you got a 60% chance of not being one of the really bad guys in this. But yeah, so here are the 5 factions or ideologies. Ideologies. I think that's a good way to word that. And then there are the 4 different heads of sections of the high command as well. So we'll get those 5 out of the way. Okay. And here we go. So we got the head of production, as I mentioned. Okay, responsible for the production table and the production directive and the strategic warfare segment. The head of personnel receives the first player marker and resolves tie. Okay, so these are the rules for running these various, being the faction or the sections. And there are 2 sides of these. There's the head of operations, responsible for planning replacements and the movement segment. Okay. And the OKW, it resolves ties during the section card segment. My God, these are small font. Responsible for the political directive, military directive segments. May overrule other players, but it affects unrest. All right, so that's that side of them. Somebody gets stuck with the OKW in 42, correct, Net Wilk. And once you have you're able to score points easily as the OKW. It gets harder as the game goes on, but that's one of the factions, and somebody will be the OKW in the game. That is a fair statement. Yeah. All right, and then wait a minute, years. Okay, so at the beginning, if you're playing from 39 on, you have them out here for the depending on who's running these various sections. Okay, and then I believe it's in 42. I think they flip over once the reorganization happens. So, all right, that's those. Steven says it's history. I've never really understood what there is to be afraid of. I don't think it's being afraid of. I think Ken put this really, really well, because when I'll come back to this in a second. He and I, during the patron stream when we first got this and Stressbotics, I basically reached out to everybody and said, hey, there are times to where I'm like, look, I need y'all to step up. I need y'all to stream this stuff. Help, please. Still ask, but more emphatically. This game specific, I was like, I want people who want to delve into this. And if you're like, oh, sure, I can. Nope, not what I'm asking for. And Ken and I discussed this, and he said, like, I have no problem with John Company. And he's like, but I don't think I would like the headspace that this game puts me in, potentially. And I was like, that's totally reasonable. That's respectable. So I wouldn't say afraid of. I think it's personal preference, not something how I want to spend my time. Totally understandable. For me, I am fascinated by this, and if it makes me uncomfortable, I'm good with that. I'm okay with that. I hope it makes me uncomfortable at times, to be honest. So anyway, I'm not saying you meant anything by that, Stephen. I'm just gave me an excuse to be able to talk about that. And Ken, I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but Ken said that there's enough satire in John Company to, be able to put almost compartmentalize better in your head what you're doing in John Company. And again, it's more satirical. This, nothing satirical at all about this. Sure, we're not talking about, the Nazi death camps and stuff like that, I don't think, in this game. So I don't know that it's glossing over it. I think this is more from a strictly military high command aspect, which, again, it's a targeted thing. So I don't think it's avoiding it. Again, I haven't played it yet, but that's why I'm kind of vetting it before we actually stream it. All right. So there you go. Anyway, get back to these. So generals. And there's a lot of them. So that's the size of the deck. Let's go through these because I'm curious. And again, a lot of these guys, I'm just straight up not going to know. I'm not that well versed in it. But yeah. Netwilk says reorganization can be triggered by the OKW player or happens by event. That's when the OKW role becomes permanent. Okay. All right. Hey, I appreciate that, Netwilk. Thanks. Juan Miguel Juan Miguel says, I find it fascinating if it's well done, not pro-Nazi. I can definitively say I've read enough about this. It's not pro-Nazi. It's not glorification here. But yeah, it allows you to explore alternative historic scenarios. World War II could have taken many different paths. Hitler not attacking the Russians, etc. So yeah. Yeah, and that's where I feel. You and I are similar in that regard, Stephen. He says, no, I can appreciate that, but I also tend to lean towards it may be feeling a bit uncomfortable is a good thing if it makes you stop and think. I agree. Ken would agree with that. He just doesn't want to do that with this game. Totally fine. He's not the only one. In fact, the four of us, for those that are wondering, that are going to be playing this, me, James, John, and Joe Rashanen. So, y'all haven't seen Joe Terraforming Mars? Maybe? We did Triumph and Tragedy, did High Frontier. Those three ring a bell. Maybe others, but those are the... maybe he was there in Interstellar? I can't remember. And Aspen says, I understand this might not be everyone's cup of tea, but for the same reason that I enjoy documentaries about World War II, I think I'd enjoy a game that reminds me of this part of history. And Aspen says, as Edward said, it makes me feel bad. If it makes me feel bad, that's good. Making sure we remember this bad part of our history is important. Exactly it. Yeah. In fact, there may still be, God, no, I can't. On Netflix. This goes back to pre-Heavy Cardboard. 2010 to, no, let's see, I was in Denver. So it's probably about 2012, 2013. There was a show on documentary on Netflix. I forget the name of it, but it was about the, and I'm going to butcher this, sorry, Elk, Einsatzgruppen. Basically the death squads, the mobile death squads. I tried to watch it. I couldn't. That was a bridge too far. They weren't glorifying it by any stretch. It was just a documentary and horrendous. That was horrible. So yeah. Oh, in 1846. Thanks, Jacket. Anyway, let's get back to it. All right. This is the last thing other than going through the books a little bit, and then we're going to wrap it up. I appreciate that, Elk. It's okay. I'm subtle about trying to point that out to people, but that's okay. Yeah, hey, feel free for those out there that, again, are well more versed in specific generals. I mean, I know the big names, right? You got Himmler, etc. Okay, but like, I don't know a lot of these guys. So if you do, I'm all for y'all chiming in on this stuff. So, because again, part of the reason I want to play these games is to learn the history of it as well. By the way, I'm just guessing. Yep, that's what I thought. This icon right here tells you what faction they tend to fall in. So I'm wondering, is it done by... Nope, it's not done by faction. I'm going to kind of sort them by faction, maybe. They are all numbered 1 through... So there's 74 generals in this. I'm not gonna try. I'm just gonna. I mean, unless, yeah, I just don't know. Now I feel stupid, but that's how we learn, I guess. Is you start at one place and you go to another. So clearly, bad guy. Von Cluj. I've heard that name. Yeah, I'm gonna stop embarrassing myself, so I'm gonna stop with that. So just FYI, these are the old guard. These are the sympathizers. These are the professionals. In fact, you know what? Let's go ahead. I know what we can do. There we go. Something like that. So, something like that. Okay. I mean, dude just looks like it. I'm just saying. And the dissonance. I feel like, oh, can't do it. Okay, there we go. Right, dissonance. Okay, that's the first one. There's Guderian. I know Rommel. Yep, there you go. Rommel's in here as well. Modell. Interesting. Those are variant cards. All right. 3 dissidents, straight up. Just clearly dissidents. 3 of them. A lot more than 3 for the sympathizers. Huh. Interesting. So I'm going through reading as y'all like speak about some of the generals there. Right now, I'm trying here. Runstedt. Witzelben. Stulpnagel. Okay. Yeah, in Valkyrie. Valkyrie was a great movie, as was obviously Downfall. Okay, some of them ring a bell for my wife in the category they are sorted in. Fits very well. Again, I believe the game is pretty well researched, and by pretty well I mean very well. But again, I'm leaving myself a bit of an out in that regard. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I mean, we kind of went through the books already. So I am very, very, very intrigued by this game. So we're gonna. Oh, you know what? We're not done. There's one more thing. Hold on. Forget about the dice and stuff. My bad. More generals of get dissident markers as the war goes on. Yeah. Thank you, Netwilk. I knew that. You are correct. Wow, they're all custom dice. Okay. Cool. All right. Yeah. All right. And then various markers. They're just screen printed. Pretty tall. These are bigger than dominant species ones for those, and they are double-sided. They have it on both, so depending on which they are. Okay. Then there are the little wooden markers. Oh, I wonder if this stuff is like Kickstarter upgrades. No, because there's no plastic ones, so I don't think so. But anyway, cubes and then some more markers. But yeah. Okay, that is it. All right. Nice. Yeah, we're digging into this tomorrow night, starting at 7 o'clock, not on camera. Again, just trying to vet it myself, and if I'm comfortable having it on my channel. I was comfortable enough. You know what? I think ultimately the reason I was willing to show it off and unbox it today, even if it ends up being just a terrible, it's glorifying Nazism. It's not. I know it's not. But even if it did, because I'm showing it from a standpoint of not highlighting it necessarily, but I'm showing it, hey, this is what we're getting into. This is what we're doing. And then we're going to vet it. And if you see it on the channel, then that's one thing. And if you don't, that's another. And I'm good with that. I'm comfortable with that. So yeah, that was cool. Aspen says, if you hopefully stream this one, it'd be very interesting to have a good size roundtable afterwards. Oh, I assure you, whether we stream it or not, we're going to have a roundtable about this game. That I can all but guarantee you. Yeah, cool. Steven says, thanks for showing the game. I got to get back to reading the Civolution rules. I have to teach it on Sunday. I hope the playthrough helped. And by playthrough, I mean multiple of them. So tomorrow at noon, we couldn't make the schedules work to make it work on Halloween today, but Kyle and I are busting out. Well, he's going to run me through Final Girl. And Hans the Butcher is the bad guy in that one. So I'm looking forward to that. That should be fun. So hopefully y'all join us at noon tomorrow for that. And then, like I said, off camera, not even for the patrons, at 7 o'clock tomorrow, we're going to be digging into this and seeing what we think of it and going from there. And then we have game day on Saturday, and we'll be back with something Monday or Tuesday for y'all. All right. All right. Awesome. I really appreciate y'all hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Something. If you did, hit the like and subscribe. Really does help the channel. And I know a lot of y'all out there are already patrons, but you know what? Earlier Fernando's like, oh, I should get snacks. I can't right now because money's tight. So patreon.com/HCHQ. That's it. That's a wrap. I'll see y'all tomorrow at noon for Final Girl. Y'all have a good one. Thanks for watching.